Welcome, my friend. And thank you for being here, for starting off with lesson 1 in this yoga series. So, here we are, looking to explore the nature of reprogramming your body, how you move, to allow you to understand and then ultimately to expand the limits of your capabilities. It is obvious that what is important to humanity right now is a sense of clarity, a sense of guidance within themselves about what's important and how best to go about dealing with and purifying, in a sense, those assumptions, habits, patterns of thought and action that result in, let's say, a less than optimal way of life. Depression, anxiety, fear, sadness, you name it. Now, one of the biggest obstacles for most people in realizing a stable, a lasting, and expanding sense of well-being, of happiness, of really dropping into a stable sense of joy and empowerment, is unfortunately the condition of their body. And most doctor visits in the West are due to back pain or some similar chronic ailment. This is rife in our society, endemic, and it's symptomatic of many things. But it doesn't really matter why it happens, more what results from it. And what results is addiction to painkillers, a sense loss of freedom, arguments, broken families. And quite frankly, it's all just rank disempowerment to the foundational level. And so, I feel called to offer what I can, which are distillations of direct experience on the nature of how to recondition your nervous system in some simple, accessible, and highly potent practices. Now, the movements and frameworks which you will apply in the course of this series stem from the yogic traditions of the East, which are all very well documented for injury recovery and the like, but none of this really originates anywhere or has a source as such. It's just the way that we apply our consciousness to the body-mind vehicle within which we move and interact and engage with this level of reality. So when applied, the principles in the coming videos within just a few couple weeks will enable you, if you are dealing with chronic pain of any sort, let's say from a ruptured disc or sciatica, or have an injury that seems to limit and restrict your agency in some way. Regular engagement in the structured methods presented here will allow you to reprogram the very way in which your body-mind's unconscious responses are conditioned. To the unconscious responses to movement, to activity. And this direct application of your will and intent over the course of your personal practice and in your daily, everyday interactions with life will result in a complete and total recovery. Now, to the extent that you desire and to the extent that it is relevant for you. It's an important point, because everything is possible, but understand that a ruptured disc, however, will take far less time than a broken back to effect recovery, but the same level of diligence and awareness is required. Exact same level. Now you will be teaching yourself new ways to move, habituating them. This can take some time, of course, but usually it's far less than you might think, and it has solely to do with your diligence and awareness that you bring to the practice, your intent and sincere desire. Now, it is my intention in these videos to provide you with a foundational understanding of how to first become aware of the subtle aspects and finer points of your body, and then to apply that increased bodily awareness to develop your spine. And if you're dealing with chronic pain of really any sort, to empower you to live your life to the fullest extent possible, given the nature of the damage and the essence of your condition, which is up to you to figure out. This is a journey of self-exploration. Now, this material is focused on the spine and the back pain in particular, because that's my personal and direct experience. But the principles are the same everywhere, and it can be applied everywhere else in your body. You'll be exploring the rest of your body-mind, and through personal practice, you will be teaching yourself principles that can be applied really anywhere. So if you have a shoulder pain or knee pain or like a jammed up hip, this is 100% relevant, directly applicable. It will require a little bit more critical and conscious thought on how you move. That's all. Now, the first and most important lesson that you need to learn is that you have to believe that complete and total recovery from any injury, any ailment, from anything whatsoever is possible. This is so essential. Now, you might not grow a new arm, for example, but the limitation that a lost arm can be almost entirely circumvented. And so too, even chronically debilitating ailments of basically any kind. You must believe that you can recover. This is foundational. This is essential. Pain is a signal. It's information. It's nothing more. It's nothing less. And over the course of the following videos, we will be, let's say, peeking behind the curtain a little, so to speak. And you will explore a little about anatomy. And you'll be expected to apply that knowledge to yourself with some mental visualizations and the like. And at certain points, you will need, like, let's say, a little space to move around, which, quite frankly, should be expected of a series that really is trying to empower you to be more physically effective. And it's quite natural, really, for anything that results in growth. Right? You're going to be interacting in the world in new ways. So find some space, quiet space, silent space, an open space. So welcome. I'm very excited to come along with you for this. Now, most doctor visits in the West are due to back pain, and it's not really hard to see why. The spine, after all, is a central point of all movement, and often whether through neglect or ignorance or just bad luck, which isn't really a thing. Sorry to burst that bubble. Pull that Band-Aid off while you can. That's really beyond the scope of this course. Let's say someone herniates a disc, pinches a nerve, or something like that. Now, the major consequences of this is usually limited movement as a result of pain, which can and usually does result in severely and significantly curtailed physical ability. But an often passed over element of recovery is the mental and emotional undercurrents that influence recovery, and perhaps even more importantly, end up drastically hampering that person's growth and development as a beautiful and unique and individuated expression of consciousness and being. So let's say you pick up a sofa with bad form and twist something. Maybe you work out a little too hard and something goes pop. Now, what's your natural reaction? Everyone usually says, hey, go to the doctor, which is great advice. Doctors are there for a reason. And when we're faced with something that we think is beyond us and our capabilities to handle on our own, look, it's only natural to seek help. And the medical establishment has access to a lot of resources, geared, all of them, ostensibly at making you better. So you generally have a choice. Go seek treatment. Depending on what the issue is, you'll be given a few options after running some scans and stuff. Medication, physical therapy, chiropractor. Maybe even surgery. Maybe even an invasive little like scheduled moment. Some people go to an acupuncturist or massage therapist, and they'll find some relief for a time. And now these are all very beneficial. I'm not knocking them. There's no judgment here. Sciatic nerve pain is no joke. I know from personal experience how limiting a ruptured disc can be, and treatment is out there. It's available. Take advantage of it. Absolutely. Now the problem with all of it, though, is that it is twofold. First, by and large, these are all about kind of management. How do you deal with the pain? And two, the doctor's not you. So the diagnosis, therefore, is and must be fundamentally limited. However effective, however efficient. Now, the amount of information required to effectively narrow down your issue with respect to your unique constitution and makeup, the amount of information quite literally cannot be communicated in words. It's like trying to drink the ocean with a fork. You'd be dead in a million years before the other person begins to understand kind of what you're talking about. Only you will ever feel the pains and triumphs that you go through. All someone else can provide is their best guess based off of averages, based off of their own experience and what they think they know is right, which is based off of some warped perception about reality, just like yours is, my friend. And while this is all very efficient, the effectiveness is still hampered by the one thing that is not an average. You. You are the one thing that needs to change. No one else. And if you have a serious injury, that might mean lifestyle changes. It might mean diet changes. It might mean any number of things. Now, what I teach is to work around and with an injury, not against it, and in so doing to drastically reduce recovery time. You will learn the limits of your movement and experientially understand how your body itself needs to change, as well as how to, in essence, retrain your nervous system to accept these changes. Now, this will empower you to continue living your life to the fullest expression of your incredible and infinite being. An injury is not a limitation, nor should it ever be. Now, the events and circumstances of our lives don't really mean a thing. Not really. It's only what you do with them that matters. There's no meaning in the events and circumstances and situations in your life. It's what you want them to mean. It's all up to you. So it's what you do with them. So what do we do about this, right? Because living in a drug-induced fog is really pretty fun for many people. It has to be. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep doing it. We wouldn't have an opiate crisis and all the like. I'm assuming, however, that you're interested in taking responsibility for your own well-being in whatever form that takes. Now, if you didn't have that energy, you wouldn't be here right now watching this, for which I first want to thank and congratulate you for taking, this step, if not any others, on your journey to truly owning your being and letting a complete and honest expression of yourself be felt in this wonderful creation. And if this does not particularly resonate, then I highly encourage you to find anything that works for you. I also want to add that I don't suggest staying away from the medical establishment as such. In fact, quite the opposite. But rather that you should take the reins of your own life in hand. Stop surrendering your power to other people's opinions, however well-intentioned, however well qualified, however well paid they might be. You're the one who has to decide what to do with your life. You're stuck with yourself, for better or for worse. Now, a ruptured disc between, let's say, the L4 and L5 may seem to pose massive limitations on your ability to move and operate in the world. And I say seems to, because really whenever one door closes, another opens. That's just how life works. Deal with it, or not, and be a victim of yourself. Now, either way, as a creator of your own life, and really a co-creator with all the rest of us, it's up to you to find the extent of your capabilities and, wherever possible, to expand those boundaries. Now, I encourage you to take the following lessons seriously, with genuine effort, while keeping in mind that only you know really how hot your oven needs to be, so to speak. So, all that said, I want to welcome you to the next phase of your growth, and to the start of this deceptively simple yet highly empowering and impactful series. I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a beautiful, happy day. We will start off. Before we move off, we'll start off with the body scan. This will be part of this video. So this will be done while sitting down. And this is called ujjayi breath, or ocean sounding breath. This is a simple, portable, and potent breathing practice. So I want you to go ahead and try it now as I describe it. Familiarize yourself with it. You're going to be using it a lot in the course of this series. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe into your chest. Slightly constrict the back of your throat like you're fogging a mirror, but you breathe in through the nose, so you close your mouth. And then you close your mouth, you breathe through the nose while still constricting the back of your throat, and you notice this sound. Now if it's catching, then this is a signal for you. Because what this is doing is steadying your breathing. It slows down the pace of your breath. And at a surface level, the surface is very important. It allows you to better synchronize your body's movements with your breath. So it lowers blood pressure. It increases concentration. It lowers heart rate. It's really very relaxing. Now, much like everything else in this series, this lays the foundations for much more advanced means of deepening your understanding of and relationship to your body. So use deep, slow, long breaths. Really still the waves of the thinking mind. And once the waves of the ocean are stilled, the deeper currents can be better navigated. And what ujjayi breathing does is to slow down the waves, letting you iron out the kinks a little bit more efficiently. We'll start off with a body scan. Body scan plus breathing. So just while you're sitting here listening to this, just relax, come to center. Drop everything else from the outside. Relax the thinking mind. Any and all interest and thoughts, just simply be uninterested. And allow your awareness to rest on your breathing. You can imagine that you're fogging a mirror with your breath. Slightly constrict your throat. And breathe into your chest, into your back, and into your sides. Now this is called ujjayi breathing, or ocean sounding breath. Now as more of your attention focuses on your breathing, sink your awareness down to your feet, the focus of your attention. Close your eyes if you haven't already, if it feels relevant for you, particularly if it resonates. And spread your toes wide, lifting them high, activating the arches. You You can notice any sort of tension here. With every breath, any sort of tightness. And notice too any aliveness, any energy in your toes and your feet. Maybe you can feel the pulse at the bottom of your feet. And as you inhale, you bring the focus of your attention farther up your legs, bringing your awareness to your calves, noticing any strain in your knees, in your thighs. Now you're not trying to change anything yet. You're just checking in. Simply allowing the focus of your attention to gently reside to different parts of your body. You can feel the pressure of the ground or your chair pressing up against your feet, your hips. You take a deep breath in, and then exhale. You notice the balance across your hips. And on your next inhale, breathe into your lower belly, noticing any stiffness there. And then just exhale, release. With each breath, you move up your body, up your spine, down your arms, down your hands, your shoulders, your neck, to the finer features of your face, to your eyes, your nose, your lips, feeling the pulse and the aliveness in all of these locations, your jaw, your ears, your forehead, all these different sensations that are there, to your scalp. You take one more deep breath, running your awareness over your entire body once more. Zoop. And exhale, open your eyes. Congratulations, first body scan. Now for review, with very little practice, a body scan can take much less than a single breath. At first, it takes a lot longer. It can take sometimes 10-15 minutes if you're getting used to it. So try not to rush through it though, as awareness is your foundation. And proficiency allows for much more advanced scans later on. Now, for most people, a dip check, so to speak, on your emotional state and how it relates to tension in your body, it requires a little bit more than a 3-second scan at first. Take it easy, take it slow, allow yourself to truly enjoy this. Actually have fun diving into your body like this. And what you can expect in this course is a 3-phase self-directed course. There will be video instructionals that you can follow along with. The videos build on each other. At the end of each phase, at the end of each class, there will be a review. Now, while there is some theory to go through, I find that these video lessons are really the most effective way of developing a personal and an integral relationship with your particular injury. I'll also attempt to avoid most technical jargon in favor of direct experiential knowledge of your own body. Now, an intellectual understanding of like kyphosis or herniation, it's all well and good. But there's a very real tendency to rely solely on intellectual understanding, especially in the Western mind, and given our conditioning, to use that knowledge as a set piece for holding ourselves back from truly embracing what we're capable of. Knowledge is, in many ways, just kind of a barrier to true understanding. There's a certain arrogance associated with it. So again, only you know the nature of your own body. Only you are experiencing what you're experiencing right now. No one else is. It's just you. So therefore this course is to be done at the pace of your own body. And while it's important to let yourself press up against your limits, it's just as important that you keep from pressing yourself too hard. I find is that I find a little progress and something begins to work. I get more and more familiar with limitations. Let's say of what I'm comfortable with in terms of pain. I can get very excited and start trying to push my body beyond where it's comfortable. And that's where injury happens. Only you know the limitations of your body and any limitations that you want to admit. You're about to establish an entirely new baseline, an entirely new paradigm, a new relationship with something that will always be there with you. You might as well make it a friend. A good thing in your life, your body. Your body, your mind, your thoughts. These are good things. This is part of experience. Make it a good thing instead of something to fear and avoid. Now in this course there will be homework, so you got a little homework lesson, a little homework exercises for today, and then until the next video lesson. So over the next times, for over the next 24 hours, for about 10 times, until the next lesson, take 3 deep breaths and do a body scan. 10 times a day. Now observe any changes in your body over time. What's the same? What differs? Where are you breathing? Is it your belly? Is it your chest? Now pay attention to your breathing during these little stops. Like, is it erratic before? Like, what was your emotional state before stopping, taking these 3 deep breaths and 10 times a day, doing a body scan? What keeps you from stopping? Is there an environmental stressor that triggers any sort of pain or memories of any old injuries? Maybe even one you're beginning to address right now. Remember that that awareness is the start of any sort of change that you want to make in your life. Awareness is the absolute core of your being. It's the central axis around which you revolve. It is the axis mundi. It's the world tree. This is your spine. Now, while this may seem like a simple exercise, I assure you that it is the most important thing of anything you might learn about your body-mind interface. And if you take nothing else away from this course, absolutely nothing, just one thing, if you just take one thing away from this course, remember the body scan. It is that essential. So, my friend, 10 times over the next 24 hours and before the start of the next lesson, do the body scan. Watch this video once more to make sure that it's really dropping in for you, that you really get it, and that you get some of the concepts and some of the higher level approach that you're going to be going into. This will provide a certain amount of context available for you over the course of the entire series. And then once you've watched this episode, or this lesson, this session once more, and you do the body scan at least 10 times, observe how fast you're getting at it, but take your time. Just be aware, try and be as comprehensive as you can. Go from toe to crown. And my friend, I'll see you in the next lesson. Until we meet again, love you, thank you. Have a beautiful, happy day.